Dogs cannot operate an MRI machine, but cats can. You get it? You get it? Are you laughing? No, no. Cue my music. Well, first of all, hi. Reggie Whitley here. And of course, we're back. Episode 3. Listen, I feel like season 2 is going to be just like, 2020 was, full of surprises. Nobody knows what's going on. We don't know what to expect. We don't know what's coming next. We don't know how to prepare. Because that's what I feel like for season 2. I'm just out here. Listen, you got me. Okay. I told you last week, I don't know if we're going to have guests or anything. Episode 1, we had a special host. But, mm, mm, hope y'all like me. Because I don't remember how to run a podcast, to be honest with you. I don't even remember how I used to book the guests. I don't remember how soon we used to record. I don't remember the procedures. I'm just I'm just out here winging it. Out here winging it, fingers crossed, prayers up, hoping for the best. So here we are. Let's figure out together what we're gonna do. Let's figure it out together. I do know that there's been some stuff going on in the media that I wanted to talk about. Specifically, this one guy who I'm a bit apprehensive because he's still on the run. And I don't want him to listen to the podcast and, get a little, sir, I ain't got nothing bad to say about you. But we'll get there in just a moment. What do you all do for Christmas? Did you have a good holidays? This is the last Monday of 2020. Oh, we are at the end of 2020. Literally, when I talk to y'all again, it will be 2021. And I feel like this year, a part of me feels like it went by really quickly, but another part of me feels like it just drug its feet. Like, I don't know if it's because I don't remember most of the year. I don't know what's going on. But I just feel like it zoomed by, but at the same time, we've been in it for so long. Ugh, but here we are, getting ready to cross over into another year. And I'm pretty excited. Now, one thing that I want to say, I hope I don't step on no toes. A minute and 52 seconds, and 2 minutes and 52 seconds into the podcast. But, just because it's a new year don't mean everything's going to change. We got to change our minds. We got to change our perspectives. We got to change our actions. I'm hearing so many people say, I can't wait for the new year to come in. I can't wait till I can say Happy New Year and write 2021 on my, that's not, I mean, you'd have to buy a new day planner, but it's not all gonna just shift in the year 2021. Just wanted to give you that. But just glad to be crossing over. Glad so many. We say this every year, but it has new meaning this year. So many didn't make it. And we're just believing by faith that we're gonna cross over to 2021. And we're also believing by faith. I don't know about you, but I know about me that 2021 will be greater. It's a word. It's a word, but this ain't a Christian podcast. So we're not here to preach. Because if I had a hoop in me, I would repeat myself and say greater. But I don't have a hoop in me. So I will not repeat myself. You heard me the first time. You better grab it and hold on to it and believe by faith it will be greater than 2020. In every area. In every area. Last season, one of the things that I introduced was a segment called See the Light. I introduced See the Light because I don't really watch the news, Shade Room, Delivered, Baller Report. That's where I get my news from now. I get it from TikTok as well. And I don't really watch much of the actual news, like Fox, CNN, what is that, HSN, all those people. But one of the things that I do realize, because I do still get some headlines that come to my phone, and when I go to Google, of course, I see some of the news headlines and everything of that nature. Whether I read it or not, I realize that most of the news that is just spewed out in the media and onto people and in their ears and in their hearts and in their minds is so negative. News will make you lose your mind if you're not careful. You know, the news will really make you scared to live, scared to go anywhere, scared to do anything. It's just so full of just horrible things, crime. And of course, the news has to include um, all news, crime and death and all that stuff. But it just emphasizes so much of the things that make people become fearful, fearful to live and fearful to move about and go to the store and things like that. And I understand that you have to discuss the bad, but the news seems to me that it doesn't discuss enough good. And so I created See the Light so that we can look at some good news stories that I run across. And so I have a few here that I want to talk about. Don't know how much further we'll get beyond that, but we'll see. And I have one that, again, it's not really like good news. I just want to talk about it. But we're going to start with the good news, at least one good news story. This is one that I saw that just made me like, whoa. Okay, so the headline is Billionaire whose goal was to die broke has given away his fortune of $8 billion to charity. It goes something along the lines of this. Charles Chuck Feeney, age 89, who co-founded airport retailer Duty Free Shoppers, amassed billions throughout his lifetime while living humbly in an apartment that resembles a college dorm. First of all, can we just talk about that? He gave away 8 billion, so we don't know how much the man was worth. 8 billion he gave away himself, not his company, he. And he was living in an apartment that resembled. Now, I've been to college, I didn't get the degree. I went to college though, but when I went and stayed on campus, it was nothing nice. I'm so grateful to this day that I did not have a roommate because I still say, how are two people supposed to live in this? Um, I never had siblings close to my age. I never really had to share anything, including a room. And so I just can't wrap my mind around two people living in a college dorm. It's very small, and his apartment resembled a college dorm. Yeah, he's one person, but college dorms are still small even for one person. And he was not a billionaire, a multi-billionaire. Ah, such a good man already. I don't even hadn't even read the story, but that in itself. Okay, so the story goes on to say, a firm believer in giving while living, he's donated $8 billion through his foundation, Atlantic Philanthropies, to various charities, universities, and foundations worldwide. And each time he donates, he does it anonymously. Billionaire Warren Buffett, had this to say about him, and I quote, he's a model for us all. It's going to take me 12 years after my death to do what he's done in his lifetime, close quote. When asked why he does it, Feeney responded by saying, and I quote again, I see little reason to delay giving when so much good can be achieved through supporting worthwhile causes. Besides, it's a lot more fun to give while you live than to give while you're dead. Close quote. This man is amazing. This man is amazing. He has given away 8 billion. You know, there's multiple ways I look at it because the first way I look at it is I'm just going to be honest. Call me selfish, call me stingy, call me what you want to. I was saying, do you not have family? Because now I'm looking at, a just man, because I can put the word on it, because I know the word. A just man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. I can talk about it all day, because that's why we're in the shape that we're in. We don't have those just persons. But a just man leaves an inheritance. So I just want to know if he got children and children's children. If he want to die broke. Maybe he doesn't have children. Because I was like, okay, if I was his child, Now, Daddy, I appreciate what you're doing, but I'm selfish. Y'all pray for me. I should have thought about that before I said it, because I have a reputation of being selfless. But that was selfish. Anyway, this Mr. Feeney, age 89, $8 billion, and he's living in a little old apartment. Let's make that a goal. Can we make that a goal to be givers? God loveth a cheerful giver. It's in the Bible. It's in the Bible, just like I just said it too. He loveth a cheerful giver. He continues to love it. God has to love this man. He wants to die broke. Can we, even if we don't give money, I'm not saying you can give all your money, but even if you don't give your money, just give your time, give your resources, your expertise. Can we be like him? Can we be like this humble, selfless person who has done such great good in the world? Okay, now let's go to the story I really wanted to talk about. Let's buckle our seatbelts. Now, sir, I know you're still on the loose. I don't know where you are. I Googled it last night to see, have you been caught? I ain't seen no updates. The earliest news update I saw was like 3 days old. I don't know. We don't know where you are, but if you're listening, I ain't talking bad about you, sir. I am not. I've taken my location off of Instagram. Just in case. Okay, the headline says murder suspect escapes transport van that stopped by him McDonald's. I don't even feel like I gotta read the story. This joker here, Leon Taylor, he's a hashtag. Hashtag Leon Taylor, 22 years old, managed to escape from a transport van at about 3 p.m. on a Monday. Homeboy say I'm doing crime broad daylight on a You're not supposed to start doing crime that early in the week. Not on a Monday, you're not. You going out on a run. You escaped on a Monday, and you know these officers have like they're full staff. In my mind, they're not full staff on the weekends. So if you're gonna do a crime like this and run away, you're supposed to leave like on a Friday night. Because by the time everybody come back to work Monday morning, you in Mexico. He said, forget all that. The time is now. At 3 p.m. on a Monday, he told, because he was, again, he's a murder suspect. And out of respect for the family, I'm not even going to tell the details of his murdering, but I mean, he's out here talking about, hey, sir, I know you driving me to the prison, but I sure would like me a bite to eat. We started driving around lunchtime. I missed lunch. I'm going to prison. And I'm not ever gonna have McDonald's again. No, 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 sir. I don't want Burger King. No, I know Wendy's has the 4 for 4. I don't have no money. I'm on my way to. I got these handcuffs on. What do you mean? Where's my wallet? What do you mean? Do I have McDonald's money? No, but I mean the least you can do. I'm going to jail. Can you get me some McDonald's? And that idiot said yes, sir. I don't know who you are, sir or ma'am, who was driving that van. Oh, but what were you thinking? What were you I'm not gonna talk bad about you either, cause I don't want to go to jail or nothing. But come on now, this is why I couldn't be a transportation driver taking people from jail to prison, because I can just see me. I'll be this idiot right here. I'll be the one. Oh, you want McDonald's? McDonald's does sound nice, sir. I'll stop and I'll get us some McDonald's. Do you want the meal? Do you want me to make it a large? Cause I could sure stand to have me some chocolate chip cookies and a large fry and a large sweet tea. Have y'all tried the fruit punch from McDonald's? It is so good. Anyway, back to the story. Yeah, I will be that one. I'll go. I'll get us something to eat. And when I come out, he's gone. I'm just trying to figure out what repercussions was made toward that officer who let this happen. I have a lot of questions, actually. Leon, if you're listening, you can email me at what is it? What is it? You can I know one is Reggie at ReggieWhitley.com. You can also email me at openvault at rwpodcastnetwork.com. You can be from a satellite location. We ain't got to know where you are. I really want to interview you. I have a lot of questions for you. Did you have on handcuffs? If so, how did you get the door open? How did you run and not be seen with the handcuffs? Because you can't move your arms when you're running. So a person like me, if I saw somebody running in the street and they weren't, moving their arms, so like you move them when you run, I'm gonna get suspicious and I'm gonna look closer. Number three, as if arm moving wasn't enough, were you wearing the orange jumpsuit? How did you escape in broad daylight on a Monday wearing an orange jumpsuit and nobody seemed to see or say anything? Okay. Number four, how did you convince the driver to take you to go and get your McDonald's? Was it like his idea or her? Because it could have been a woman driver. Was it the driver's idea? Did they say something like, "Hey, I normally take my people to." That sounds very nice, but I don't know. I ain't never been a driver for stuff like this. Hey, I normally take my people before they go to the prison to get something to eat. Did you choose McDonald's, Leon? Or did the driver choose McDonald's? Was that up for discussion? Did you have a choice? Number, I think this is six. What did you tell home team to go in there and get you? And how did you convince them to go on the inside during a pandemic instead of going through the drive-through? I really need to know that one. I really need to know that one. Because the inside is closed. So how is it? Or were y'all at the drive-through? And while he was handing the money with the car in front of him getting the food, you jump out and started running. I think I got the answer, Leon. You can still come here, reach out to us, and come on to clarify these questions that I have because I need to know. Not that I feel that I'll ever be in this predicament, but skills are good to know. I don't care what they are, it's good to get a new skill. I don't plan to ever murder anybody, but I watched every episode of How to Get Away with Murder and took notes in my mind, and I know exactly how to get away, but I will never murder anyone. Let the record show I will never. But it's just good to know a few things. I can solve a murder. That's why I watched. That's why I watched. So I can solve it. Yeah, so hashtag Leon Taylor. Peace and blessings from God the Father to you. Turn yourself in, Leon. I kind of feel like he earned this. Just say what you want about me. You judged me in the last story anyway. I kind of feel like he earned this. Oh, but blessings to you, Leon. May God be with you. Oh, my phone. See, how am I that unprofessional where my phone is going off on the podcast? Yeah, blessings to you, Leon. And officer who was the driver. Oh, that's all I have to say about you. What? I thought I was done with that story. Can we reverse? Can we back up just a little bit? It says that the sheriff's office, because I don't read the stories before I come on here. I just start talking. But it says here that the sheriff of the hashtag Lake County Sheriff's Office is questioning how Taylor could pull off such a daring escape while in handcuffs, a leg brace, and a belly chain. I don't even know what a belly chain is, but it sounds like it's hard to get out of. Leon, I think you and that driver had something going on, and he had to have let this happen. So if you was in all that, you was in the jumpsuit, handcuffs, a leg brace. I don't even know what a leg is. That a leg brace and a belly chain. He earned it, y'all. He earned it. Mm. Look at his picture. smiling. He knew what he was going to do when he took this mug shot. Oh, jeez. Prayers for the family. Whose family? Whose ever family you want to pray for. Prayers for the family. Okay, story number three. Story number three. I have stories for days, but this is the last one, I think. I think this is the last one. Oh, so this one I really enjoyed. It says grocery store security guard Jose Townsend finds a wallet and didn't hesitate to ride his bike mostly uphill over 3 miles to return it to Chloe Parker, who got distracted with her 5-month-old in the supermarket. If that wasn't enough, part number two. In return, the family fundraised over $25,000 for Townsend to buy himself a car. You get a 2-in-1 with this one. Jose, he didn't have a car. He's a security guard. He found this woman's wallet and he was dedicated. See, oh, this podcast is just going more and more downhill. As for me, you know, y'all probably not even going to talk to me after this because first, see, this is why this has to be the last story. Because I don't know. My true colors are coming out because I don't know. You know, I probably would have called and been like, hey, Chloe, got your information from inside your wallet. You left it here in the supermarket. I'll hold on to it. I'm back at work tomorrow 8 a.m. I don't get off till 4. I'll stick around if you need me to. Oh, I got some work to do on myself because yeah, y'all would do the same. Don't act like don't get self-righteous. Y'all wouldn't rode no bike 3 miles up here. And then, some people do it for exercise, so that would be nothing for them. They'll just make it a part of their exercise route. I'm not exercising. But it worked out in his favor. The Lord says, since you have done this little thing, I'm going to do something great for you. Because the family, they could have just said, thank you, sir. Would you like to come in for dinner, sir? Or just gave him a few dollars after wallet, especially when you open. Because it's one thing to get a wallet returned. It's another thing to get a wallet returned and everything is intact, just like you left it. So they could have offered him some money. They raised $25,000 for him to buy him a car. Oh, that's a blessing. Jose, tell the Lord, thank you. That's incredible. And that's all of the See the Light segment that we have today. It has gone downhill. Um, I don't even know if we can say it's going downhill. It never started up here. I started with the lame joke. That was downhill. We never made it up. Um, yeah, so let's continue. So when I started this podcast, one of the things that I always say is that I didn't know what I was doing. And it looks like, not much has changed, really. Can we agree on that? I don't know. I mean, you can be honest. I'm not gonna fight you. I started this podcast in July it wasn't last year, July of 2020, because we're still in 2020, and I had no clue. Still have no clue what I'm doing. I know a little bit more now than I did then. I feel like at this point I'm just here to have a good time. I don't even care. Rules out the window. I'm just here to have a good time. One of the things that I decided that I was going to do is, one of the rules, I guess you would say, is I wanted my each episode to be between 42 and 45 minutes. If you go back and you look, all of my episodes last year, am I telling the truth? I might not be telling the truth. They were at least 42 to 45 minutes. That was the goal. I wanted to stay between those because and again, I want a talk show. And so most talk shows, because you have to look at the commercial breaks and things of that nature, most talk shows are actually like the recording time for an hour-long talk show is 42 to 45 minutes. And so I was like, okay, so we're going to stick within that time frame because this is preparing me for that. Ooh, it's I need to take a nap because it's a word in it. because your this is preparing you for your that. And I mean, you can take that however you want. All things work together for the good of them who love the Lord and according to His purpose. But anyway, I was preparing for that, and I still am. And so, 42 to 45. Of course, sometimes we went over because the talk was good. But, I'm feeling like this time, one of the things that I did say, when I get the talk show, I want to just be in full control. Well, maybe not full control, but I want to be like the head person. A lot of people that have their shows and stuff, and they don't own that show. They don't own, the creativity of the show. I want to own it. And so, being that, this is my network, I own this. And so I said all that to say we're breaking the 42, 45-minute rule because we're about to close. Um, because we've been downhill for so long. This has been a train wreck for so long, but I've had fun. I've enjoyed myself. If you made it this long, kudos for you. Either you have nothing better to do with your time, or this is just background noise as you continue with your day. Whichever is the case for you, thank you. But anyway, I know next week, I said that because I know that next week, I don't know how long there will be. Um, but I feel like this season may be a bit shorter. But starting next week, I want to do this thing. I said earlier, this is the last Monday of 2020. That means when you hear me again, as I mentioned earlier, it'll be 2021, unless you listen to a replay. And so, one of the things that I have decided that I'm going to do for this season is for the next. Oh, so before I even say that, one of the things that I am learning is that I shouldn't say what I'm going to do, especially putting like a specific time frame on it. The reason I say it is because if you've heard nothing else from me, you've heard on this podcast that I've written a book. I don't even say it to promote it. I don't even know if I've even told y'all the name of the book. Google it. Go on Amazon. Put my name in there. It'll pop up. Speaking of Amazon, for those of you who are listening today, and perhaps you don't know which platform that you would like to listen to my podcast on, perhaps you're listening on Facebook, perhaps you're listening on YouTube, or you're saying, I want to go and find his podcast on an actual podcast platform. I often say that we're on every major podcasting platform, including, but not limited to, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Overcast, and more. However, we are now on Amazon and Audible. If you have an Amazon account, simply search my name, Reggie Whitley, or you can search Open Vault with Reggie Whitley. Guess what's going to pop up? My podcast is going to pop up. If you have an Audible account that is powered by Amazon and you like to listen to your audiobooks, you can download the Audible app, log into your Audible account, and you can search not for a book, but for Reggie Whitley or for Open Vault with Reggie Whitley. And what's going to pop up? My podcast, We're Growing. Don't know how he did it, but he did it because we're growing. 2 new platforms. And for that, we give God praise. But for next week, back up. I was at the Amazon, go to Amazon, search my name, find the book. So I say that to say, every time I mention I got a book, I say it not to promote, but to say in the back of that book, y'all know where I'm going. I put a date. I didn't say in November 2020. I didn't say in the fall or in the winter of 2020. I put a specific date. I don't know, like November 24th or November 26th of 2020 for book number 2 to come out. I did not meet that deadline. Didn't even try to meet it. I gave up on it because I said, God dog it, it was me who put that in there. When the Lord, because if it was the Lord, it would have been done by now. So I blame myself because I shouldn't have put that back there. And it still isn't finished. However, it will get done. Y'all gonna get it sometime in 2021. I got 365. Y'all will get it, so unless it's a leap year. Sometime next year, you'll get that book. And it shall be great. In God's timing. I'm gonna put it on God in God's timing, not in mine. But that taught me, well, it started the lesson. Reggie, don't put a date on stuff. Don't put a deadline on things, and especially if you're going to tell the public. Because when you don't meet it, it's out there for the public. You can't take it back. You said it. Now they can say you didn't say what you said you was going to do, but they better mind their business. But anyway, I said that to say I have not learned my lesson because I'm putting a date on it. Next week, starting next week, I'm going to do, because so many people have this whole, I am like the king of cliffhangers because I get like right there to it and say what it is. And I just go, wait, imagine being my friend and hearing me talk. When I tell one story, you're going to get about 7 before I get to the end of that first one. But so many people create New Year's resolutions. I touched on it last episode. So many people like to create their New Year's resolutions, their New Year goals, their visions and their plans for the new year. One of the things that I believe that I should be doing is having like webinars and different kinds of sessions and things of that nature. Told y'all last week I'm tired, so I ain't doing it this year. Not with this topic. In the beginning of the year, I'm not. So because I have a platform, when I combine 2 in 1 and start next week over the course of the month of January, doing a talk or focusing my podcast on the 12 areas of vision writing your vision for 2020 in 12 areas. What do you want to see for your year? So many times we just write down insane things, and just the first thing to come off the top of our head, we want to make this amount of money. We want to get this degree. We want our family to look like this. We want our bodies to look like that. And we just write it down and then we just go about our business. I want us to really focus. One of the reasons why I started this podcast is because I've been wanting to create a platform to build community and go on a journey together. And so the journey that I want us to go on together is just a journey for next year of fulfilling our vision. In order to fulfill your vision, you first have to write your vision. In order for you to write your vision, you first have to get a vision. You can't write what you don't get. And so we're going to look at 12 things, and we're just going to focus the podcast on those 12 things. And I really want it to be something that empowers you, inspires you, helps your 2021 be better, be greater. So many times we go year to year, and our last year looks like the year before that, and the year before that, and before we know it, it's 20 years down the line, and we haven't fulfilled what we wanted to fulfill. So many people just go and their New Year's resolution for one year is the same as the previous year. We are putting an end to that because we are going about vision differently. We're getting a vision for our lives, for our marriages or relationships, because I ain't married, for our finances, for our careers, etc. So we're starting that next week. I'm pretty excited about it. We have to do it. That's why I just told y'all. So I can do the work to get it done and prepare for next year. So we're going to do 12. My goal is to spread them out. If I'm not mistaken, there are 4. I don't think there's 5. There's 4 Mondays, because he's coming on Monday. 4 Mondays in January 2021. So we're going to do 3 per Monday. I'm really excited. Tell a neighbor, tell a friend. We're getting vision together again. Okay, so that's the podcast. Peace and blessings from God the Father to you. I will see you next week.